Hi, my name is Anine Moore and I'm a decorative painter. I did this little gift box. They're actually called gift pillow boxes, and you can get them at the Dollar Tree. There's no pattern. It's using stencils, and it is the Elf from Studio Art 12. So I'll be using some stencils today. I'll be using the DecoArt Americana paint colors and some Dynasty brushes and a lot of stencil brushes. So I'm really excited to get this going. And I have here one of my previous videos. The line drawing is free and on my website if you want to follow along on this video. So I went ahead and I base coated the surface. What I did was I used the Sunset Gold, and I mixed a little bit of the multi-purpose sealer with the paint so that I put a barrier on the box because it's cardboard. Okay. You're gonna need some tape to hold in place and a lot of stencil brushes. So I have a few because we're going to be using different colors, and it just helps from cleaning the brushes in between coats. Now I'm going to do the feet first, and it's okay that it goes off the edges because when you close it, at least it'll still be on the sides. I'm going to place this. I want it near the edge of the cardboard. Okay, and I'm going to hold that in place just so it doesn't move around. I covered this. So I covered where I don't want to put paint on, and I'll tape it down on my table. Okay, the first color that I'm going to do is white, because then I'm going to put red over top of it. So I have warm white. You can use whatever white you have. And you're going to need paper towel. Well, I want to make sure that you can see all of this. I'm just going to scoot my chair over just a little bit. Okay. Now you're going to need paper towel and some stencil brushes. And I have here a 1/4" stencil pro. So you dab paint on your brush and you're going to wipe some off. Now I normally dry brush, but for this step here I kind of stippled just so that the paint applies to it a little bit better. So I just go in an up down motion. So again, I'm just putting my finger there so that I don't get paint for the green spot there. I'm going to dry that up and I'll give another coat to that. Again, I just want to blob, like I don't want big blobs of paint on my bristles. Okay, I'll let that dry and then I'll add the red, but I will clean this brush off with a little bit of hand sanitizer, just so I can use my red, because then I don't want it to be pink. So I'll just wipe some more. Okay, we're gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna go ahead and do my green boot here. So the two color greens that I have is sour apple and jewel green. I'll go ahead and do the sour apple. Okay, and I did this part here. Now for this here, if you have one of these, I think they're called multi-tools. It helps you shape where you don't want paint to be on. So you can place that here and dab, and then excuse, the paint won't go on to the next little step. This will take a couple of coats. It's very light in color. No, I did break this one here when I cleaned it. I'll have all the list of supplies and at the description below the video. Okay, and this here. It helps sometimes if you push down on your stencil so that the paint doesn't bleed through underneath. Yeah, I'll let that dry and I'll come back to that. Okay, now I think this is, I'll just dry it a little bit and then I'll add my red. The red, you can use any red that you have. I have Red Alert. Okay, and so again, I'll just dab some off. This too, I'll need a couple coats so it's nice and red. And I'm just going back and forth with the colors because it does take a while to dry. Okay, I'm going to go back to my sour green here and add another coat. For the background, I did do 3 coats. Again, I'm just going up and down. I'm not putting blobs of paint on my brush. And one more. I'll give I'll give it a dry and then I'll add another red to that. And this here is also red, like in the middle section. I didn't dry brush it, I just used my liner and I dabbed red paint in there. Okay, red. Okay, and then I just used it's a faux squirrel and it's a 10-0 rigger. So, oh, I need a little bit more red. So I just put paint at the tip there, and I'm gonna fix this up once I remove it. We're gonna make them a little bit bigger, but it'll give me a little bit of ideal of where my stripe will be. So I'm not putting a whole lot of paint. Okay. And I'm gonna do the other green, which is jewel green. Put some of this on my palette. Okay, and I'll pick some up again and then just blob on paper towel a little bit so that you don't have a whole lot of paint. And do that here. Yes. This also gives like a little bit of a texture when you're pouncing up and down. So dry brushing. Just gotta be careful with the tip there. Oops, I got some on the bill. It's okay. Over here, I'm gonna put in this there because I broke my little strip. Now, if you got paint on the opposite color, that's okay because you can always touch it up after with the liner brush. Just gonna take this, just move this down a little bit. Okay, and now I'll do this one. And just hold the stencil down. With this. This is a great, great tool to have. Okay, and then my slipper, I mean the tip here. Now I'll dry this up. I think I need another red, another coat of red. This is great about taping it. When you need another color, it's in the same place. So it saves from lifting the stencil. Yeah, that's better. I'll try the green and I'll give another coat of green and then I'll do the bell. Okay. Second coat goes on a lot better than the first one. Oops. Okay, and then this boot. I'll put this part here. Okay. I've got some on my belt. Okay, now I'm gonna do, did I do this one? No, I don't think so. Unless I did, I can't remember. Okay, I want to do the bell. I have slate gray. And I'll clean one of my brushes. So I have hand sanitizer. So you put hand sanitizer at the tip and you just wipe on a paper towel and it'll remove the paint off the bristles so that it's not so wet when you go to use it again. Okay. You do use a lot of paper towel when you're doing this. Okay, my slate gray. So I'm going to add some on here. Okay, I think I'm good to remove this. Okay, now before I do my elf, I'm gonna work on the boot first. Okay, I'm gonna draw the little bells. Okay, now I'm gonna work on the stocking first, and I'm gonna fix this here so that it comes right across. Back in with the red. So that it goes right across. Same with this one here, and it's good to touch up the lines. Okay, and then I'll draw that up, and I'm going to put green in between the stripes with the warm white. Okay, so just I like to turn my piece around, but I'm going to try not to. I think I might put another coat on once it's completely dry of white. These brushes are really good for doing straight lines. Oh, and also I did the bottom part here. Just take your time to add the paint in. Sorry, I have to turn it. It's a lot easier for me to pull towards me than down here. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry, and I'm gonna fix this stripe down here while that dries. Okay, so I'm gonna pick up the red, and what I wanted to do was like do the little I don't know, do little stripes like from the lace. So I'm just gonna attached to the green area. And they don't have to be the same size. This little one right here. Okay, I'm going to dry that up and that's the white to that. These boxes are good ideal for putting gift cards in there, multiple gift cards. You can put small gifts, and it's decorated by you. And the back is also painted with the same color. Okay, now I'm gonna do, I might put another red on top of the second coat. Okay, I'm gonna give a second coat of the red, just on those stripes there. Just on a few. I find it needs a little bit right here. Oops, I put a little bit too much paint on my brush. And I'm gonna add some like some floats and some highlights. I'll make sure my red is dry enough. Okay, now I'm gonna float the green with black forest green, and I use an angle brush. You can use a flat brush, or you call a shader. Okay, I wet the brush. So I float the bottom here. It's all choppy. And then I go all along the bottom here. Sometimes the cardboard, it's like a really dry surface, so you might have to put a little bit extra water in the brush to add your float color. And you can go right over because that'll be added like a line, a white line on there. And if you want to soften the float, I like using a mop brush. And the outline will be done with black pen, so that's good too. It's okay if it goes over. Just lift the tip when you get to a point. Okay, I'm going to do this one here. Start it over here. Whoops. Okay, and I'll just soften this. Okay, and I think that's it for my green. Okay, now my the red, I use Napa red for my shading. So Napa red. I want a little stripe going from the sides. So from the top here. And then soften that up. Oops, I put it. Make sure I didn't get paint in the back. Okay, and the bottom of a little striped lace here. Just do the bottom edge. For the little bell, I'm gonna add a little float on the top, and I don't have my black down here, so I'm just gonna mix a little bit of the Black Forest green with the gray just to make it a little darker. And I'm just gonna add color to the top. Okay, we're gonna dry brush a highlight and then add some white to it. I use the Mezzaluna brush, and I'm gonna highlight this. I'm gonna dry this first. I don't want my red to hit the white. Okay, I'm gonna pick, so these are used dry. Pick up some white and then just wipe some off. It's always best to apply light color, and then, you know, if you need to add more, then you can add a second coat, second dry brush. So again, I'm just going to wipe some off. So just rub it in a line. Okay, and then I'll just dab, but might have to use the tip there. Just dab a little bit of highlight at the tip of the bell. Okay, and then for the highlight of the slipper, I'm just going to wipe some of this paint off. I used Sea Breeze. Okay, so pick up some Sea Breeze, wipe it off, and then just add some. So I'm going to see some white on there, but that's okay. And then along the edge. Oops, that's a little too dark. So I didn't wipe, I had too much wet paint there. What I'm going to do is just wipe it off, and then I'll let it dry, and I didn't want a blob of green there. Okay, I'll let that dry. It's kind of like a scratchy dry brush when you use these. I'll go back and do this one. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna add my little white stripes. So I'll use my rigger for this and some warm whites. Okay, so I go make this little line here. And I'll add one on the bell. You could do the striped red on the bell. I just thought of that. Here, what I'll do is I'll add the white here, and then I'll just redo red. Okay, now I'm gonna dry that up. I'll do the red line, and then I'm gonna do my word L. We're gonna float underneath like the feed in the words once it's all put on there. Okay, I'm just gonna redo this in red. Alrighty. Okay, I'm gonna dry that up so I don't get paint on the back. It's still a bit wet. So this stencil has, like, the elf made me do it. You can totally do different projects with this. Okay, I'm gonna do it about here. And it is gonna go over the stocking, and that's okay. I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna put tape to hold it down. I'll put a tape here. And here. Okay. And I covered, might need to cover this word just so you don't get paint over top of that. I'm going to use warm white, put a fresh puddle, and I'm going to use the 1/2" Stencil Pro brush, and I am going to dab my paint on here. Yeah, normally I dry brush, but I found it was a little bit easier on paper to do the pouncing method. And I did do a few coats of the white. So I'm gonna just hold it down on the stencil so that the paint doesn't go on the other side. I'm gonna dry that. I think I did like 3 coats. Okay. This is a very quick project. You can do multiple of these at the same time. Quick little project. I might be okay with just the 1 coat because I'm going to add dots anyways. Okay, I'm gonna dry that up and I'll just check that out. Now, to add my dots, so you leave the stencil where it is. Okay, so here we have the word elf. I think that's bright enough. I'm going to put this is random mini dots. So I'm going to add probably, I'll do 2 anyways. And then I'm going to place this, it moved. But it's very easy to place your stencil back on right here. So I'm good to do these little parts. Now, I did green for this one for, what was it called? Jewel green, but I want to do red just to see the difference between the two. I'm gonna use the Napa red just to make it a little bit brighter. So I'm going to use my stencil that I had the red on, and I don't want too much paint. You're going to dab over top. And this is what you call layering stencil, like when you're using stencils. Okay, if the red has like different like dark and lights color on there for the dots, that makes it really cute. So just hold down on your stencil. Oops. I'm gonna move my stencil. It has to be one of my, the random dots has to be one of my favorite stencil that I have. I find it's really cute when you're doing Christmas decorations, like for tags, and for, you know, I did a few with the snowman's scarf. Okay, now lift this up. Okay, I like the little red dots. That is very cute. And then I clean those with under the tap with some soap and water. Or you can use baby wipe to clean your stencil. Now I'm going to add some color to this. Make sure the dots are dry. I'm going to use Asphaltum, and I'm going to float underneath and like in, I did actually the inside of this. Okay, I'm going to put all my brushes, stencil brush in my water because I'm done with that. Okay. I have Asphaltum, and I'm going to do like underneath this little area here, underneath the bell. And I'm going to do, whoops, underneath here. These are choppy little floats. So, and then I went like for the inside of here. I did along the leg. That one's a little darker compared to the others. Okay, and then again underneath. Oh yeah, and I went underneath this one here too. I have to go back to add more brown, and at least I can go redo a second coat. So a little bit more brown. Again, I put a little bit more water than usual just because it's cardboard and it's a dry surface. Okay, and then I'm going to do for my letters underneath, everything that's underneath. That too, it'll give a little separation on for the stocking. I'm gonna dry that up so I can do the left side. Then I can check where I can need like another coat. Like over here, I can make this a little darker. And saw this here. Okay, now I'm gonna do so it would be like the left side of each letter. So it'll just help pop out the little the letters. So I'm careful not to put it on the white part. Now I did add a float on top of the letter on the right side, just the right side. I didn't go at the bottom. Okay, so I gotta turn it towards me. Okay, so I went on the letter on this part here, just the right side. I'm gonna add, I used these are Micron pens, ink. I used those to outline my my design. And I also, the wiggly lines, I went like around twice. It doesn't have to be perfect. So I used the number, I think the number 1 is fine. You can use Identipen. This one here, there's a fine tip. You can use those. Okay, and then I'm going to attach that little line for the bell. So go outline, just go wiggly little lines. You can skip a couple little sections to add ink. And always make sure your design is really dry before you use the ink, because you don't want to clog up your the end there. Here. I did the same for the letters too. So the letters I went like a couple times around. When you get sometimes it won't go through, just wipe it on paper towel, and the ink will go back up. Yeah. Just wipe some of this off. Okay, and then another thing that you can do is at the bottom, you can add like little wiggly dots just along the edge with wiggly line and dots, just in a couple little areas, not everywhere. Doesn't have to be the same, it's just on the inside of the stockings. Oops. You can do the same for where we flowed on this side of the letters on the right side. Just a couple little spots, not everywhere. Okay, now we can add highlights. They're called jelly roll pens. There's 3 different sizes. This is number 10. So I'm gonna just add highlight, like a highlight. I should have did it at the bottom. The float was on top. That's okay. So you can add a couple of dots. And so your highlight would be like on the inside. Where we floated, add a line right down the edge. And then well, you can put some on this side if you want to, but I don't know if you'd see it on the white. The little areas. And then we can spatter. I normally use a fan brush, but I forgot it upstairs. So I will use my rigger for this. Okay, so I'm just going to move a couple of little things around. Okay, I spattered with some asphaltum and warm white. So you really have to wet your paint down. So like I have my blob of white. So really ink that down. The inkier it is, the nicer the spatter will be. They won't be like blobs. And then this where you can see it. I will take like some brush or just tap the ferrule, and then I'll pick some more up. Sometimes you can test this on the paper before spattering, just to make sure you like the consistency of the spatter. Okay, and then I'm going to use Asphaltum. So I'm going to really ink that down. Oops, there was a big blob right there, but that's okay. Make sure you get some along the edge too when you're doing this. Okay. That's it. So here's the red one, and here's the green one. You can see which one you would like better. Breaks it down a little bit. So I really hope you like this easy finished little project. Please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Hit the notification, and then you get all the videos that are coming up. So thanks for watching.